Saturday edition. Just heading to a formal with me and my daughters. Interesting. The car needs cooling. And I'd like to ask a question. Do we free Chris Brown? That's why I put it as a question. Do we free Chris Brown? I don't know if you guys know what happened. Let me clean my... There I go. Chris Brown was invited by the NBA to be part of Friday's celebrity game. I believe it was Friday the game was. And then he was uninvited. And he was uninvited because NBA sponsors... Hey, what's up, man? What's up? NBA sponsors said Chris Breezy can't play. They don't want to be associated with Chris Brown. Now, this is still over the whole Rihanna thing. And shalom to you, brother. It's still over the whole Rihanna thing. And it's just interesting to me how people are still holding Chris Brown responsible for this thing. It's like 15 years ago. Chris Brown is 34 years old. That took place, the Rihanna incident, where he pled guilty to, I think it was felony assault. He had to do like 200 hours. He was on probation for a period of time. He never served any jail time. He never went to jail at all. Or served time due to it. I'm sure he was arrested at the booking time in jail. But that took place when he was 19 and Rihanna was 20. And God bless you, Miss Ann. Good to see you. Peace and blessings to everybody. And people are still holding him hostage when he was 19 years old. And this is a question. This is really a question to you. When do they let these guys get on with their life? Like, I guess we can't really cry a river for Chris Brown. He still has a very thriving career. It's nowhere near what Rihanna has done since that time. But Chris Brown has definitely been handicapped due to the whole assault with Rihanna. And, you know, part of me as a dad and as a girl dad, rightly so, he should have definitely been penalized for putting his hands on a woman, for sure. Especially a woman of that magnitude. There was a lot of speculation going on as to what happened. One of the stories I had heard, and this is just, again, I don't know if it's true or not, I'm not throwing anything on anybody, that Chris believed that Rihanna had given him herpes, and, all these things. Is that justifiable for an assault? I don't know. Like, that court of opinion is not for me to, I'd be very upset about something like that myself, but would it lead to, physically attacking a woman on my part? No. I know they throw me under the jail. I'm not a little guy like Chris Brown. So, but that's an allegation. The question is what happened. We don't really know. Only they really know, and their close associates, maybe the police. But what is the reasoning for what took place? Maybe that is known, and maybe that's why his penalties were non-jail. Who knows? But the bottom line is that was 15 years ago. He has served his time. Rihanna has moved on. Everybody's basically moved on except all of these long-minded brands that do not want to be affiliated with Chris Brown. Like, imagine the NBA wanting Chris Brown to play in a celebrity game, and then they got a call hearing that Chris Brown was going to be in the celebrity game, and people were saying, if Chris Brown is in the celebrity game, our company is not interested in endorsing the celebrity game. And the NBA had to call him back and had to uninvite him from playing, but still offered him courtside seats. And Chris Brown said, no, I'm not even interested in coming. All right, which I do understand. And Chris Brown apparently shared all the receipts online. I think he was sharing the emails. And it got to the point where this thing is now in the public sphere. Everybody's talking about it. It sounds very, very messy. So, what is your opinion? Should these black entertainers who have committed crimes, he's pled guilty, serious felony, assault on women, known as a woman beater, is that a lifetime sentence for him? And if that be the case, you know, other guys get the same levels of penalty. I mean, I remember, I don't know how many of you guys kind of tried to sit through that, but the Johnny Depp trial. And Johnny Depp had a lot of recordings and videos, and he saved himself. But he was being accused of some very serious things, and he, unlike Chris Brown, he won. And he got off, but it's still seemingly affecting Johnny Depp's career. Then, of course, we have Jonathan Majors, who was convicted of what I think it was third-degree assault. Third-degree assault is the equivalent of bumping into somebody in the mall. But third-degree assault for running away, for basically shaking somebody off who was trying to keep him in a taxi, pushing her off of him back into the taxi, and she pursued him for multiple blocks, and he was actually convicted of assault for that. And we saw what took place with his Marvel and all of the other endorsements. He's got very fantastic black actor, very good, fantastic black actor. Career basically taken away from him. And so, and I threw Johnny Depp in there. So, and we know Rihanna and Chris are black people, and so this is not a race thing as much as it is seemingly a man thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about it if I was Chris Brown's people, and I don't know how I'd feel about it if I was Rihanna's. Like if my daughter was assaulted by a guy, and you know, Rihanna was hospitalized. For those who don't know, she did have bruises to her face, visible bruises to her face. For those who don't remember that, and she was hospitalized. But you know, apparently justice was served. I don't know. I don't know if you think justice was served there. But how long is Chris Brown meant to be beholden to that one-time act of a 19-year-old version of himself? Right? He's 19 years old when this happened. You know, how many of us were knuckleheads at 19? You know, he was just a very visible 19-year-old. Had a very, very terrible fight with his beautiful star girlfriend who was 20, and it's affected him. So blessings to everybody. Timothy, good to see you, brother. Blessings to you too. Chris Brown in jail, and why should I care? Yeah, that's the question. Do we care if Chris Brown goes to jail? Now, I haven't heard very favorable things about Chris Brown, personally. I was in Ireland one time, and apparently he was in a concert in Ireland, and he started a fight in that particular concert. He had a bodyguard with him, and apparently he's kind of an A-type personality, and an A can stand for a lot of things in that situation. But so I haven't heard the greatest things about him. I do appreciate the fact he's a very talented young man. And you know, this thing, my question is, how long should it sit over his head? And is it rightfully so that a brand has that long a memory and says, nope, if Chris Brown is associated to it, we don't want any part of it, and we're going to use you know, the leverage of our corporate power to make sure that Chris Brown doesn't get no shine on the same platform we are on. You know, haven't been live chat. Okay, good to see you back. Good to see you back to the live chats. We've been here, man. We've been here. We've been running around, but you haven't caught one. So I'm glad you're catching it now. Me and my daughter are going to a formal. Me and little Jericho are going to a formal, so that's why I'm all jazzed up right now. So I'm gonna give you my opinion. We are living in a very unfair world when it comes to this the concept of justice. And it would seem that black men, let's use them, because this is really what we're talking about. It seems that their penalty is a life penalty for any of these infractions. And this is not always things that are attached to just abuse against women. Will Smith is apparently the Academy has given him a lifetime ban for his slap of Chris Rock. A lifetime ban. And so it seems that when black men commit things that, you know, are crimes or outrageous, it really seems that there's no mercy left for you. It's like, you're finished, you're washed up, we never want to see you again. Chris Brown is so talented that it would be almost impossible to totally obliterate his career. He's so talented, right? He's going to have some cult following somewhere. But, you know, guys who are not entertainers, you know, they can definitely be shut down by Hollywood, shut down by labels, and shut down permanently. Station and channels got popular over talking about, you know, a young basketball player who was being shut down. And, you know, brands shut him down, the NBA shut him down. Kyrie did not get a lifetime ban because people realized that what was going on was nonsense. But he was definitely run through a whole lot of hoops and then had to be traded to another team and had to apologize multiple times and, you know, dragged all over the world apologizing and apologizing and apologizing. And it's crazy that we have the longest apology tour in the world for things that we legitimately do wrong, but other people get forgiven. And I want to give you an example. And I don't know if it's a worthy example. You guys tell me. I don't know if you've ever heard of a commentator by the name of Marv Albert. Marv Albert, I don't want to say he's Jewish. I believe he's Jewish, but I don't know if he's Jewish. But he is referred to, I believe it was Marv that they called the Tsar of the Telestrator, or was that his other little friend? But Marv was a very significant NBA commentator. He was known for his incredible toupee, and he was quite a commentator. I enjoyed listening to Marv do the play-by-play of a game. But he was caught and entangled in some type of pornography scandal, a sex scandal, if you will. And it was pretty serious. Like, Marv Albert was doing some really freaky stuff. Really freaky stuff, okay? Marv's a little freak, a little 5'5" freak, middle-aged, little white Jewish man. I believe he's Jewish. If he's not, I apologize, but I believe he's Jewish. And he was doing some freaky stuff. Got millions of dollars to spend, and plenty of prostitutes all over the NBA cities to spend his money on. And Marv, I guess he was taping his stuff. He was making sure that he had the capacity to go back and to reminisce. And the NBA got caught up with Marv. And Marv Albert got suspended for a pretty long time in the NBA. Marv was missing maybe 5 years. But then the NBA took old Marv back. Nobody mentioned that sex scandal anymore. And Marv was back in there doing his thing. Forgiven. All is forgiven. And I wonder if Marv was a black man, a black commentator, caught up in a scandal like that. Would he have been given a second chance? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. Has anybody heard what's going on with our good friend, our sister? I say with quotations around it, Rachel Dolezal. Have you heard what's going on with her? Her name isn't Rachel Dolezal anymore. She's changed it to a very African name. She has a very Nigerian name now. It starts with an NK. You just put NK on the internet, it'll come up right away. Right away. NK, you put an NK on the internet, that woman's name will come up right away. She's got 3 names. Well, this young lady, as you know, Rachel Dolezal, was impersonating black people. She was the head or the president of the NAACP. She was in charge or the head of some group, the Organization of Colored People, something, I forget the exact name of it. And, you know, she was blacklisted because she's identifying herself as an African American, that term that I really dislike, and but has been born of white people. Well, recently, she was a professor, I believe, in Arizona, or a teacher in Arizona, and they had to let her go. Why did they let her go? Well, they found out that Miss Dolezal had an OnlyFans page, and Miss Dolezal was showing much more than she should have been showing to the world. In fact, she left nothing to be desired. And I'm not going to tell you to go Google it, but if you do, I think you should say your prayers, because there's too much to see. That's more of Rachel I wanted to see, and she didn't leave anything uncovered. Now, but I believe Rachel's going to get her second shot. I believe Rachel's going to get a shot, baby. You know, she's going to get an opportunity to resurface and do her thing. Somebody's going to say it's her body. She's a woman. It's her body. A woman can do anything she wants with her body, and she shouldn't be body shamed because she decided to make money on OnlyFans. She was on OnlyFans. She was making extra money on OnlyFans, apparently. And she was a teacher, and she was fired because they said her OnlyFans does not meet the guidelines and morals of the state of Arizona school system. I don't know if that's a lawsuit, but I believe she's going to get another chance. But after 15 years, not beating anybody up, not really getting into any kind of scandals, Chris Brown can't even play a basketball game. Can't play a basketball game, Chris. Because 14, 15 years ago, he pled guilty to assault. Like, I don't know, man. It's I mean, again, I ain't gonna cry the river for Chris Brown. Chris Brown richer than me, got more money than me. He's got definitely less problems than I got financially. But it's just interesting to me when I heard that. I was like, wow, all this time they still ain't giving Chris Brown a bly out of that, huh? I mean, I think they gave Ike Turner a bly after a while, and I think Ike was a heck of a lot more brutal to teach than Chris Brown. I think I gave Daddy Jackson a bly after a while, and he beat the heck out of them little Jacksons. He turned all of them into millionaires. I don't know. I have no issue with the Jackson daddy, actually. I mean, if your daddy beat you and turned you into multi-millionaires, they just sold Michael Jackson's his catalog. I believe they sold the catalog for $600 million. They say it's worth about $2 billion. They sold it for $600 million. You know, I'm sure they undersold that. But let's say Michael Jackson's estate's worth about $1 billion. One kid's worth $1 billion. Throw in the other ones with the spare change. I don't know. You should have beat me as my dad. I'd be better off. He could have come and whooped me, taught me to dance or some dance steps or something. But they gave him a bly. They're not calling his name out no more. It's funny, man. It's crazy that some people, once you fall into the gutter of public opinion, you can't pull yourself out. I mean, again, Chris Brown is still having a very good career. He's traveling, he's performing, but he better not try to play basketball in the celebrity game in the NBA. Ruffles or whoever it was that pulled the plug on that, they ain't gonna have it. You ain't gonna eat our chips while you're watching Chris Brown. It's just very interesting to me. And again, part of me thinks, well, you beat up a woman. Hey, buddy, you're lucky. That's the least that you're getting. You're lucky you didn't serve any jail time. You're lucky you even have a career. I understand that 100% too. But when do you let guys go? That's my question. It's a question. I'm positioning it as a question. And again, life ain't fair. I don't know if Majors is going to recover from his situation. I don't know if he will. He might have to make some movies for Megan Good. Megan's sticking with him. That brother, I believe it's April the 8th of this year where he's got to be sentenced to his conviction. I would love to see what that sentencing is. I know it's going to be appealed regardless of what it is. But I mean, if he does anything more than community time and probation for that, Chris Brown never spent 1 second in jail for that. 1 second. And if Major spends any time in jail for that, it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous he was convicted. Forget about ridiculous. He's losing all his money. He's losing all his contracts. He's losing his great reputation, and potentially he could lose time on the outside. That's absolutely ridiculous for that situation. But I don't know. You guys talk to me and let me know. You guys tell me what you think. Chris Breezy still can't play celebrity basketball. I mean, you're not making Chris Breezy the president of the United States. Speaking of that, you've got Mr. Touch him in the you know what running for president. You got a guy running for president who talks about assaulting women, brags about it, says he can do it anytime he wants to do it. That guy was your president. You're telling me he can run for president again, but Chris Breezy can't play in a basketball game? Chris Breezy he's not trying to be a senator. He's not trying to be the president. He's not trying to be a mayor. He's not even trying to be a dog catcher. He's trying to play in a celebrity NBA game. Do you know the amount of criminal record, the criminal records in those celebrity games? If you rolled out the criminal records, you could gift wrap the doggone stadium. You could gift wrap the stadium with the length of the criminal records of all those criminals that have played in those games. Come on, man. Come on. What is the intention here? What is the spitefulness? After all these years, you're like, no, he still can't play. Not a big deal. He'll survive. He doesn't need to play in a celebrity basketball game. But I just thought it was interesting. Tell me what you think. This is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. Chris Brown can't play in celebrity basketball, baby. Can't do it. You guys have an amazing day. And for the record, I don't condone any abuse for any reason of any woman. There's no reason to hit a woman if you got car keys and 2 good legs. She carrying on, she acting up. Leave. Walk away. That's why the men coming to marry my daughters, I'm going to say, listen, my daughters are going to talk back to you. I don't want to hear from you. You married her. But the second you think you want to hit her, call me. I'll come get her. So there's no reason to hit a woman. There's no reason to hit her. He's wrong for that. The question is, how long does he hold that? That's just the question. All right? I'm feeling great today. Absolutely great. I wish you could see my whole outfit, man. I'm wearing an outfit right now. We're going to a party. My friend of mine is a pastor, and his wife is her 50th birthday today. And holler out to her, Phoenicia Thompson, happy birthday. And we're going out to celebrate her. I'm bringing my 12-year-old daughter because I need a dance partner that can really dance. Some of these old people don't like to dance properly. So I'm bringing my own dance partner. It's a 50s theme. I got her 1950s dress in here, fur coat. She got white gloves on. We about to get to high stepping, and we're gonna have a good time. So God bless everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's getting dark, so it's good that I should quiet down, shut up, and let you guys go back and enjoy the rest of your Sabbath day. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon.